A ransom deadline has come and gone with no response in the case of the apparent abduction of Today Show co-host Savannah Guthrie's mother. The investigation, now 6 days in, is intensifying. Meanwhile, authorities in Arizona are confirming new details about the search and the crime scene as the family makes yet another public plea to her could-be abductors. CBS News' Jarred Hill has been following this case for us and here with us in studio with an update. Good morning, Jarred. What's the latest?
Hey, good morning, Errol. So authorities now are releasing the most detailed timeline yet in relation to the night Nancy Guthrie went missing, but still no word from whoever might have taken her or whoever's behind a potential ransom note.
6 days into the search for Nancy Guthrie, and the Pima County Sheriff is holding out hope that the 84-year-old is still alive.
We believe Nancy is still out there.
This is Cameron Guthrie. I'm speaking for the Guthrie family.
Late Thursday, Nancy's son Cameron released a new video directed at her potential abductors as one purported ransom deadline passed.
Whoever is out there holding our mother, we want to hear from you. We haven't heard anything directly.
Authorities haven't released specifics on the terms of the note or confirmation of its authenticity, but the FBI says it contained details not previously made public at the time it was sent.
The ransom itself, one talked about an Apple Watch and one talked about a floodlight. We're not going to go into specifics.
But the sheriff has released a detailed timeline of the night Nancy went missing. She arrived home from dinner with her daughter Saturday night at 9:48 p.m. The garage door closed 2 minutes later. At 1:47 a.m., the doorbell camera disconnects. At 2:12 a.m., software detects movement, but it wasn't captured on video. At 2:28 a.m., Nancy Guthrie's pacemaker disconnects from her phone. Then at 11:56 a.m., the family checks on Nancy after she doesn't show up to church. Authorities say DNA testing has revealed that the bloodstains found outside the home do belong to Guthrie.
Everyone is looking for you, Mommy, everywhere.
The FBI now offering a $50,000 reward.
So on top of all of this, authorities say that they're also dealing with apparent hoaxes in this case. Last night, a man from California was arrested after allegedly sending the Guthries a phony ransom text demanding Bitcoin. As for the purported ransom note, they are taking seriously. The next deadline, Errol, is on Monday.
All right, Jarred, we're going to dig more into that right now. Thank you very much. Doug Kouns joins us to think about this. You may remember he's the founder and CEO of the intelligence firm Veracity. He was also a former special agent and supervisory special agent in the FBI. Doug, good morning. Help us understand what this ransom deadline really even means. Is that an encouraging sign for investigators, or is this typically more of a delay tactic?
I'm not sure that it's either. And this deadline, it's not the first. There's two of them. So the first one suggests to me that it's this much money by this deadline, and if it's not met, then it's going to be a bigger amount of money, which is I think the 9th coming up on Monday. And then we don't know the details of this letter. So does that one include an or else of some sort? So it's hard to answer that without knowing more about what's actually contained in that, and they're just not going to release that, nor should they. So it is what it is. I think also that they don't have much leverage. Having her is their leverage, and if they do decide to do something harmful to her, that just takes that away. That destroys what they're after. They want money in return for her. So to follow through with a murder of some sort, that's all for naught. They wasted all this time and all this risk, and I think they don't want that. So that's where we're at.
And, and a question I have, just because it's so close to the southern border, is if these abductors even have Nancy still in the country. What do you make of the timeline that investigators laid out, that Nancy was, her Ring camera went offline well after midnight, 20 minutes after that, her pacemaker goes offline, and it seems as if she was abducted quite quickly. What does that sequence of events and these deadlines tell you?
It suggests to me that it was well planned, well researched. As an investigator, I'm gonna reverse engineer that. What would have gone into that planning? I would think surveillance. I would think recon of the neighborhood, and I'm sure that the investigators have canvassed, gotten bigger and bigger circles out from that residence looking for videos, and so far they've come up empty, or at least they're not telling us that they have anything. It's dark in that neighborhood. There's no street lights. Whatever footage they have is probably not suitable, or you just get a piece of a car passing by that doesn't really tell you anything. So you're not going to spend a whole lot of time searching for, some generic Honda Accord that went by just because it went by. It's a waste of time, and you could be focusing on something more important. It's kind of in an impasse right now. They're not communicating, and the family's sending out these pleas for, please talk to us. We want to work with you. But the kidnappers know that that's risky, and without going into details, look at what happened to the hoaxers. They send a communications, and FBI agents are knocking on their door shortly thereafter. So that scares them. So where we go from here, that's the question.
We know so many people are praying for the Guthrie family, and our hearts go out to them. Certainly, Doug, we appreciate you helping us understand the status of the investigation so far. We all hope for a breakthrough. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me.